If you are overly aware and picking at yourself, you are going to attract people that pick at you and also themselves. Hello, Transurfer, and welcome to TransurfingTV. I am Renee Garcia, and this is my video on being flawed. Oh my God, is Reality Transurfing so good? Not only do we get all these amazing concepts to help us create our own realities, but we also get this amazing gift that we don't have to change anything about ourselves to do so. We simply have to evolve. And if you've got flaws or personality traits or characteristics you don't like, who cares? Just accept them and let them come along for the ride. That is what I am doing right now. And it's pretty awesome because I battled myself for a lot of years thinking that I had stuff wrong with me. I had very, very high standards of myself. I was in relationships with people that pointed out my flaws consistently and had very high standards for me, standards I could never quite reach. I was in living hell, constantly trying to make myself perfect, both with my image and refined personality traits, and I mean, it became an absolute nightmare. And when I found transurfing, I was like, that's it. I am not doing this anymore. I am going to be me, and I am going to accept myself the way that I am, and I am not going to care what anybody else thinks about me ever. And life has been so good since. And the amazing thing about this is that the mirror concept comes in huge here. Like I said just a few moments ago, I used to obsess over the things wrong with me, obsess over how big my legs were, or how tight my pants were, or was my hair the right way, as I'm messing with my hair in the camera. Was my hair the right way? Did I look like this person? And did I have these personality traits? And was I, refined enough? And was I this? And was I that? And I was constantly battling with myself. And sure enough, what did I attract? I attract people into my life that were also scrutinizing me on a constant and consistent basis, right? So you get exactly what you give to yourself in regards to this concept, being flawed. If you are overly aware and picking at yourself, you are going to attract people that pick at you and also themselves. It is amazing. So since becoming accepting of my flaws and letting it all go, now I don't have anybody in my life that does this to me, and it is an absolute miracle. So being flawed, why do the pendulums really have us convinced that we have to eradicate ourselves of these flaws in order to be worthy of something, right? Worthy of love, worthy of money, worthy of friendships. So the pendulums, the big powers, that we have in our lives, and really we can pinpoint these. I mean, social media is huge, and the media and the images we see on TV and shows and movies and magazines and all that stuff. It keeps us feeling as though we must do something, right? We've got to do something just a little bit more. And then when I get to be that person, then I will feel beautiful. Then people will love me. Then I will get the job that pays the money I want. Then I will have the friends that I want. But the cool thing about transurfing is that it's actually the other way around. You begin to allow yourself to have those things first. Even with your flaws, you let your flaws simply exist and you stop placing so much importance on them, and you start living, allowing yourself to have the things that you're denying yourself while you're waiting to become that perfect person. And in allowing yourself to actually have these things first, you can sort of connect with that higher version of yourself, really highlight your positive qualities, and let your negative ones simply exist, or they fall away. I mean, all of the weird stuff, the weird standards that I used to hold myself to on a daily basis, I don't do it anymore. And it's not because I put a bunch of energy and thought into not doing it. I simply stopped paying attention to these things, and I started focusing on my more positive characteristics instead. So Vadim Zeland says it in the book all the time. He says, or a number of times at least, stop thinking about what you don't want and start thinking about what you strive to achieve instead. So what I like to tell people is this: whatever problem you have with yourself, right? Whatever characteristic or perceived flaw or personality trait that others may deem unappealing or unattractive or whatever, anytime you have this thought of yourself, simply call it out, okay? Here's one of my lesser thoughts. This is what I like to call them. Here's one of my lesser thoughts. And instead of just sort of bathing in that lesser thought, what can I do to accept it more? And a lot of this has to do with importance levels. So I will use my weight for an example. And I'm going to get super personal here. I'm about 120 pounds right now. I used to weigh about 105 pounds when I lived in Los Angeles. I know that sounds super low, and it was super low, and it was pretty scary actually. I mean, I wasn't anorexic or bulimic or anything like that, but I restricted calories, and I was constantly at the gym working out. I mean, I was a total gym rat. And if I, God forbid, woke up one morning and my jeans didn't fit, I had an absolute meltdown because I put so much importance on my weight, right? So I had sort of two things going on. I had this obsession with my weight and these thoughts that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't fitting the image, the guy was gonna stop liking me, I needed to fit into the 00 jeans, all of that stuff. And then I also was hard on myself for being hard on myself. So I had sort of all this inner turmoil and battle going on with myself. And when I found Reality Transurfing and I realized, oh my God, there's a different way, right? Again, I have this tattoo on my body, drop importance. There is a reason why I got this tattoo. And part of it has to do with me remembering on a daily basis that the lower my importance levels are, the better I am, the better I work with myself. I have more harmony with myself. I have more harmony with my reality. I'm not in constant battle, right? This is both externally and internally. So now what I do is I try to maintain a healthy weight. I'm not at the gym excessively exercising. I really eat whatever I want. Did I have to buy a couple of jeans that were a size 1? Yeah, I bought a couple of jeans that were a size 1, and I don't fit into those 00s anymore. But you know what? I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. And anytime I start to feel like, let's use this, I'm sure all of us at home have gained a couple pounds because of the pandemic, right? So in my mind, when I jump on the scale and I'm a couple pounds heavier, and I have that initial thought like, hey, this isn't right, I'm like, you know what? It actually is right. This is probably your world putting on a couple more pounds that maybe you need, and it's totally cool. I accept what my world is giving me. I stay healthy to the best of my ability, and I lower all that stuff of needing to force my inner intention on something I think I need to change about myself to mold myself into something specific so I feel like I can be worthy of something. Because really, when you get down to it, who the hell cares about your weight, right? The idea is that you're healthy. Same with any personality trait. Do you stutter? I stutter sometimes on these videos, right? At first I was editing them out, and then I was like, you know what? Whatever. Does anyone actually care? If you've got some annoying quality or thing about you that maybe you think other people don't like, I promise you, the only reason others may be responding to this thing is because you're highlighting it in your own mind. If you drop importance on that trait or that characteristic, your world will start to view it as charm, as character, instead of a shortcoming, right? So accept your flaws, whatever they are. And I think I forgot to leave out a crucial part of my process, and I will end the video with this. Anytime I think of anything negative about myself or I start highlighting a flaw, I simply ask myself, how can I work in the opposite direction of this instead of settling into it with my importance? And oftentimes it is just that. It is lowering the level of importance surrounding the thing, and it magically disappears. Or if I really feel it's a problem and I really think that it needs to be changed, then I'm proactive. But I never just sit and resonate with a negative flaw hoping that it wasn't there, or wanting it or wishing that it wasn't there, right? I don't do that. So I either accept lower importance levels or take action. So what do you think of this video? Are you being too hard on yourself? And what one flaw can you call out today and learn to accept instead of fight against? So remember, like this video if you do in fact like it, and comment below, I love reality transurfing, to win some of these. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye.